Hey guys, Philosopher here, and today I'm got my first impressions of Echo, the new character that was just announced to the Young Avengers. And it's not surprising to me that Echo's coming to the game. If any of you have watched the Hawkeye miniseries, you know that Echo is featured prominently there. And Kate Bishop, of course, is also a big part of that. I would not be surprised if she comes as well. We have the Young Avengers here adding an additional character. So, right now the Young Avengers are a team that is essentially worthless in this game and not really important at all. They were very briefly useful on War Defense. So if you've been playing the game a long time, there are people, certainly in my alliance and others, who have a big Young Avengers team built, but they were always incomplete. Miles has moved over to the Web Warriors, so they're getting two new members. One of them is Echo. I would not be surprised if the other one's Kate Bishop, but we'll see who that is soon. There's going to be 4 characters this patch, so the other two really the outlines of them look mystical to me. I don't know, but I don't know I don't actually have any rumors on that regard. But in any event, that's what we're going to see this patch, and I have to say I'm a little disappointed here. So let's go right, take a look here. What I see here is they say this is a powerful team that will be formidable against Infinity Watch and many other top teams in Alliance War. In other words, it's a war defense team. And I've got to say, I'm not a big fan of war defense teams. And I said the same thing when Heroes for Hire came out, because my view is, unless you're a super endgame player, I don't really see how you can afford to put a lot of resources in war defense. It's the game mode that has the least rewards out of it. It is also a game mode that, in my opinion, is not as much fun because war defense, you don't even get to play the team. So to me, war defense is something, generally you prioritize war offense over defense anyway. So to me, yeah, if you got an endgame roster like I do, sure, I invest in all the new characters for the most part, but this is a real luxury for most players. And frankly, these characters, certainly the Young Avenger team is not going to be a legendary unlock because 3 are old characters that are easy to get. Four Young Avengers are. I guess these 2 new ones potentially could be, but certainly collecting the shards makes sense. But it's very hard for me to suggest to most players that they should be building a war defense team. So here, this gives a story here. One thing I will say is Kingpin does feature prominently, not only in her comic book storyline as they're explaining here, but also on the TV show with Hawkeye. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Kingpin rework in the future, just like they spun off Web Warrior, Miles to the Web Warrior team. I wouldn't be surprised if she gets spun off in the future, so that's certainly possible. But here, let's just go right to her kit. I'll tell you what I think is interesting about the kit. So first of all, it's interesting. She's a global character, sort of like how America Chavez is not a city hero. But she's a hero brawler, so she's going to have some synergies in addition to the Young Avengers synergy. If you look here at her passive, let's start there. So first of all, on spawn, she applies defense up for 2 turns to the entire team. That's really huge. I mean, people don't realize defense up lowers incoming damage by 50%. It also increases focus by 50%. So that's going to be really helpful to this team, much more impactful than you might think. But this is a big one, and this, I think, is really the most important part of her kit. When an enemy attacks a Young Avenger ally, Echo is going to attack that enemy for 250% damage. A lot of us are impressed, for example, with Kestrel's out-of-turn attacks, right? Those massive attacks that she does when you hit an enemy with defense down. Black Bolt before that was a character with those burps. Anytime you have out-of-turn attacks, it's a powerful mechanic because it essentially allows you to cut in line. This is a turn-based game. It's all about how often you take turns. And if you can cut in line like that and get attacks in when it's not your turn, that's very powerful. So I think that mechanic is really going to be huge here. If she's a hard-hitting character, I wouldn't be surprised if she is because she's so new. I think, she could be very good. And it also says, well, this character does not have blind, reduce the assist chance for enemies by 100%. That is really, really interesting because, what this is going to do is shut down Infinity Watch. They said, kind of in the preamble up there, okay, this is going to be a team that does well against Infinity Watch. So, okay, so you're going to have to use something else to beat it. One thing that's interesting, says, well, this character does not have blind. We do have a character, of course, who was just introduced that does have blind, that he does apply, of course, in Star-Lord T'Challa. The other one is also, obviously another character applying blind is Magneto, but I think T'Challa is maybe an intended counter here. And then when she's blind, she gains slow. When she is blind, it says she only has a 50% chance to miss. In this game, if you have extra accuracy, that means that you essentially can be immune to blind if you have 200% accuracy. Here it's 150%, so blind is only half effective against her. If she gets blind, she gains slow. So blind is definitely a way of potentially countering her. Gain 10% damage if the character has any skill enemies, so that's also going to hurt the Infinity Watch. And then, giving 25% damage to the team. They always, when they make these new additions to revitalize old teams, they always put a lot of the power on the new characters to force you to buy those. So, the whole team's getting defense up for 2 turns. She's doing all this out-of-turn damage. She's giving 25% damage. So it's all meant to sort of OP this team. And you're going to see the same thing, by the way, with, I'm sure, the other new character, if it's whether it's Kate Bishop or someone else, it's going to be some super abilities. Let's look here at her basic. Attack primary target for 250% damage, then bonus attack, 20% extra crit chance, which means she may be, a good raider because of that extra crit chance. But, this is single target damage. We'll see what her ISO attack looks like. Certainly hits very hard. 450% is a high multiplier. Depends what the base is. Of course, her special turn 1 attack primary target for 350% damage, chain to 2 targets within 2 spaces, so they don't need to be next to each other. Again, additional crit chance signaling. This is probably going to be a raider character, and this is another underrated ability here. This is one that may not appear sexy to you, but it's huge. Apply 2 evade to the entire team. I mean, that is huge because evade is essentially 100% damage mitigation. Unless the enemy's got something unavoidable, this team is going to be very difficult to damage with that evade, coming so early. Particularly, she's a very fast character. Magneto, I will note, is a character that has an unavoidable attack, so that's pretty interesting. On war defense, this targets the most injured enemy, ignoring taunt. That's helpful just for war defense. You have a smarter AI. Dodge breaks the chain. And then this, I guess this would be turn 2. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. This would actually be turn 3. Attack primary target for 300% damage, rebound chain, and apply slow for 2 turns. If a target doesn't already have slow, reduce that character speed bar by 25%. Counterattack breaks this chain. I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, if Kate Bishop maybe gives energy or does something else, has some interaction that makes this go earlier than that. So, what do I think of this character? I think this seems to me like a character that is got certain pieces between this the flat damage increase, defense up for 2 turns, out of turn damage, and then all this evade. It's going to really power up this team, but as I said, I really don't think most players should be investing heavily in war defense. So I think most players should just get the shards for this character. Maybe she'll have some, use in the skill nodes or something in Doom Raid. But I just think unless you're super endgame and are basic, have extra resources to throw around, I don't really see a lot of reason why most players should be building this character. All right, guys, if you like this video, smash that like button. Subscribe to this channel. If you got comments or questions, jeers, you can leave them below. Or you can go to my Discord. That's linked below. You can also go to my Twitch stream. That's linked below as well. And if you want to support this channel, click on that Amazon coin link below and purchase your Amazon coins there. Helps you save money on MSF offers and supports us at the same time.